pretty lady named Faye.
Little chocolate, huh?
From Charlotte, known for hustling king.
Okay.
Steady, serving always sweet tea. That day we touched on just about everything. Our up and downs, trifling ways. Yeah, God loves us the same.
Yes, sir.
She tried to figure my sway. She said, your love from around this way. Something about the way it speaks really. And I like your smile, it's so slow. You must be from the Bay of LA. I say, no, Miss Baby, not the cab.
Show some gratitude.
We breathe that green, baby.
We out here, the flyest kids. 206.
I know what people say, baby, but we up here. No doubt, I'm from here.
We from here.
Representing all the tasty seasonings, blended with all the fixings and everything in between. Know what I mean?
We so P.
So Emerald City.
To the Emerald City.
Liquid sunshine, you can stop and stay all
We
night.
from that northwest coast, Max Train of the Metro, Oaks Park of the Expo, swoosh, headquarters if you get close, might get a plug on the retros. Out here where pleasure and shop play, feels good in the hood on a hot day. Way before Starbucks had a latte, I had a posse on Mix-a-Lot's Broadway. Quincy and Jimmy did what you achieved, that jazz, that soul we do with these. We saw AC, TBD, Stoudemire, Terrence, and Aaron go to the league. Just dial 503 on the phone, we were born with rain in a coming zone. Twin cities like neighbors, see hot blazers, safe promo that you condone. Stay on that I-5 to the skyline, see the Space Needle on the road. Garfield and Jefferson know the code. Huskies and Ducks on overload. Yep. So we EVP all day. Yep. You know that love for the road gon' stay. Yep. Cause when you ain't from around our way,
I can tell it, baby, don't let me say you up here. No doubt I'm from here.
we from here.
Representing all the tasty seasonings, blended with all the fixings and everything in between. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So P.
I'm so P.
It's so Taco City.
Hilltop, we see you.
You know that
We got love for you. Born here.
oh, we're standing on.
Let's go now.
Show. Let's go like a Coke and a smile. But come and visit in the summer though.
Yo, what's up? What's up, Portland? It's your man. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can I get a thumbs up if you can hear me out there in Facebook, YouTube? All right. Well, we're just getting a second here. We're going to wait on our co-host, Mr. Daryl Ramsey. He should be showing up any minute. But for those of you who have just tuned in, you have tuned in to Black Portland Live, a place where the Black Portland Facebook group comes to life. We basically talk about the most interesting and relevant topics in the Black Portland community. And today, we have a lit panel. The subject is lit. I cannot wait. So while we're waiting on Daryl, typically at the beginning, we basically just go over some group etiquette and some group news. So for those of you who may be tuning in for the first time, Black Portland is a Facebook group that I started about 5 years ago. I just did it to gain reconnection to the Black community. I felt like, I woke up one day and we were all separated and spread out. And I just felt like creating a space for us to kind of have a conversation and to show love and support from one another. Over the past 5 years, we've really grown. One moment. So we currently have, hold on just a sec, sorry. Currently have 9,200 members in the Black Portland Facebook group, all of whom are African American and currently live in or have a strong connection to the Portland community. And it's a great source. It's probably one of the premier sources for information about Black businesses and Black culture here. So everything from events, organizations, shows, we have it all here. So if you haven't joined, feel free to come in and join. All right, so it looked like my co-host is kind of late, so I'll go ahead and start with the news. I actually have an announcement to make. Some of you may know that I just took a position with a nonprofit called PDX Black Excellence as their director of business development. And I kind of wanted to tell the story about how that came about because I think it's relevant to the current conversation. Hold on one moment. Sorry, that's Daryl hitting me up right now. There he is.
Sorry about that.
Nah,
You sent me
good,
the link, and I actually forgot that it was in the message there. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. And yourself?
I'm good, man. You always
Great.
doing something exciting. Every time I see you, man, you're out here in the mountains or on some trails or something. What do you have going on? Shut up, man. Come on. Hey, I swear to God, we did not plan this. Look at this.
Oh, wow.
The
Wow,
Black
that's funny.
History situation. I promise
That
we
is
did not,
funny.
we did not plan this. I swear
Man,
to
as soon
God.
as I seen that guy pick up the he post up the shirt, I went and got one.
It's same here. Shout out to
Yeah.
Drake Pets for the Black History shirts, bro. These they on point.
That's funny.
That's crazy, man. So how's the fiance, man? You guys set a
Doing
date
great.
yet?
Doing great. Yes. It's actually May 23rd.
May 23rd. That's
Yeah.
what's up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So I was just going over some family business, making an announcement. So I was talking about how I just recently took on the position of Director of Business Development for PDX Black Excellence. For those of you that don't know about PDX Black Excellence, you can go check them out at pdxblackexcellence.com. It's a nonprofit organization that's dedicated to basically just uplifting and empowering the Black community, kind of similar to what Black Portland does. So basically, I got invited to a Zoom meeting by Raylan. He's the one who founded PDX Black Excellence. And it was a Zoom meeting with a bunch of different organizations and brands and impactful people in the Portland community. And I got up there a little early and we kind of had a quick conversation between me and him. And while we were in the meeting, everything he said kind of aligned with what we do here at Black Portland. So we thought it'd be a good idea if we had a conversation offline, right? So we finally get a conversation offline, and I could tell you about 10, 15 minutes into the conversation, I knew right then that we needed to collaborate and we needed to partner and do things together. So I say to him, there's no reason for us to be competition. There's no reason for us to compete with one another and step on each other's toes. Imagine how powerful we could be if we just joined forces and came together. Now, Raylan's not from Portland. He's from Oakland. But he came here and couldn't find a connection to the Black community. So he decided to build something of his own. And I think that oftentimes people's egos and kind of some people have kind of like a power complex. They want to kind of rule, but we both just put our egos to the side and we've decided to join forces. So moving forward, PDX Black Excellence and Black Portland will be doing a lot of things together. You'll start to see a lot of original content and things kind of change within the group. And I am really excited about it. Right now, we have a contest where you can win a sneak preview. One moment. So right now, if you go to pdxblackexcellence.com and enter to win, you can enter to win a link to a sneak preview of Coming to America 2. You have to get your submission in by March 2nd. And it's a partnership that we're doing with Amazon. So Amazon reached out to us and asked us if we wanted to find a way to promote the sneak preview. We decided to have a contest. So please go follow PDX Black Excellence on Instagram and go ahead and sign up for the newsletter and enter the contest so that you could win a chance to see a sneak preview of Coming to America 2. So what's up with you, man? Man, first of all, who is your barber, bro? Your shape up is always looking super fresh, man. Are you willing to give up the goods on the barber, or you want to keep that a secret? I can't hear you. Are you muted?
Yeah, so Dante Pascal, he's a Nike barber.
Okay.
So I go check him out there in the Pearl. He actually moved down to the Pearl, and so I go check him out there, and I appreciate him keeping me tight.
Yeah, man, you're always fresh to death every time, bro. It's crazy.
Thank you.
I live vicariously through your Instagram and Facebook because I'm old and I got some years. So.
I'm trying to stay out there for a little bit, stay in the mountains for a while, especially since we're on lockdown during the pandemic. It's kind of, amped that up a little bit more since we can't go out in groups. So I think it's, it's a great way to kind of be a stress reliever, get some exercise, get those 10,000 steps in, stay busy, try to fight off the quarantine weight that I put on. So that's pretty much it. And I got some people that come out with me occasionally. As you know, I lead the Outdoor Afro group of the Portland network. So that makes it a lot of fun. I had a great group the other day that actually joined me to go out to a place called Camp Colton. Mm-hmm. And we had a really good time. The actual person who hosted us was like, we were one of the funniest groups they ever had there because we couldn't stop laughing.
Right.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's amazing, man. I know people just don't know how on point you are and how much you do for the community. So again, folks, you have tuned into Black Portland Live, and we are going to get started today. Our first guest is the host of Situations and Conversations with Trey Renee. Miss Trey Renee, how you doing today?
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. What's up?
Yes.
So many things are up. So many things. Where to get started? First of all, thank you guys for having me. You have to excuse my appearance. This is my Sunday chill time, but I wanted to make sure I had some time with you guys. Daryl, Adrian, you guys are really pillars in this community as far as I'm concerned, doing all this good work, getting all this good stuff out there. Yes, the hairline is tight. I see it. I see the t-shirts all rocking. I'm here for all of the accolades. I'm here for all of it.
Hey, so why don't you just introduce yourself to the people? Give them like the Trey Renee elevator speech, and then tell us what you're working on right now.
The elevator. Okay, well, first of all, I need the backdrop that Daryl has going on because I feel like the rays of sunshine are just radiating out of his head.
I actually kind of feel like I'm doing too much back here. I'll be honest.
No. Listen, never too much. Okay.
Right.
So, hi everybody. I'm Trey Renee. If you don't know me, well, you may know my voice if you listen to Jammin' 107.5. I am the afternoon diva, and thank you guys, first of all, for listening. If you are, and if you're not, come on and get on that wagon because this is the #1 show in the afternoons in Portland.
Yes. Congrats.
So thank you. Excited about that. So yeah, I hang out with you guys on the radio, and then I also hang out with you on TV. I am the former host. I see these glasses are getting all kind of Zoom light going on. I used to be the host of Afternoon Live on K2 Channel 2 for 4 years. And during my time there, I was honored to win an Emmy for Best Host. So I'm very excited about that. And I took that onto my own platform when I decided to start my own show, which is called Situations and Conversations with Trey Renee. That's me, all about us. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I felt stifled. And I felt like I was unable to shine my true light and live in my true purpose 100% in the environment I was in. So that's why I decided to exit and do something for us. It's like FUBU, for us, by us.
That's what's up.
And can I make a big announcement?
You sure can. Go ahead.
You guys are going to get an exclusive before I even put it out on my page. Exclusive. Situations and Conversations with Trey Renee is headed to television, not just YouTube anymore.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
We're actually headed back to K2. It's
amazing.
one of those full circle moments.
Yes.
Awesome.
Where I think they understood that there was a void, especially when I departed. And now that I started my own show and I'm doing my own thing, I think they recognized that they needed some of that. They needed some
game. They recognize game.
Right.
Starting March 14th on Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Be sure to tune in, y'all. K2 Channel 2.
All right.
That's amazing. That's
cool.
amazing. Hey, we're just honored to have you on the show.
Yes,
so I really appreciate that. And so, we've never met. I'm born and raised in Portland. Of course, I've heard your name all over the place for years and years and years. Well, hold on, not that many years.
It's okay. Listen, I own all the years, okay? I'm not that one. I'm not the one that's like, oh no, all 47 years may not have been here.
Yeah.
But it's been a good 15, 16 here in Portland. So
okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
15, 16 years in Portland. So, how, first of all, the quote unquote transplant, how do you feel about that word in general? I've been getting a lot of people saying that they feel like it's derogatory. They feel like it's divisive. What are your thoughts on that word? And then in addition to that, how long do you feel it takes or how long did it take for you in your experience to not feel like a transplant anymore, to feel like Portland was home?
Yeah, that's a good question. Number one, let me break it down. I don't have an issue with the word transplant. I don't have an issue with words. It's just a definition. I was not born here. I was not raised here. I moved here because, like a lot of people who are transplants, move here because of a company, either Nike, Intel, Adidas.
Always Nike and Intel.
Always Nike, probably, right? So for me, it was Nike. My husband took a job with Nike back in, 2006. Yeah. So we've been here since then.
Okay.
And we came here I'm originally from San Francisco.
Okay.
But my husband's from New York, and we moved here from New York.
Mm-hmm.
So this was like a big move, a major move. And I was on the radio out there in New York and doing my thing. And so to come here, for me, it was quite the transition. I thought, when you look on the outside, it's like, oh, you hear about Portland being so liberal. And I didn't realize that there weren't hardly any Black folks out here till I got here. And I was like, oh, okay, well, they have a hip hop station. So there's that. So back on 95.5, back when jamming was 95.5, that's when I started my radio career here.
Okay.
And they were really open. And I felt like it took me, I'm not going to front. It took me a long time to try to get into the groove of Black culture out here. It was very different than what I was used to. Mm-hmm. I felt like people were a little standoffish at first, maybe guarded. Now that I'm here a little longer, I feel like there might be a little bit of guarded feeling. But when I first got here, I was like, ugh, what is that about? Like, I'm used to saying, what's up, what's up, what's up to all my folks walking past me on the street or in a store. And so I'm looking crazy, or I'm feeling like I'm crazy because I'm like, hey, what's up? And then, people like,
it always trips me out when people say that, because, most of the people that I know that are from Portland, we're quick to say what's up. We're really friendly. And so when I hear people say that, I wonder, are those really Black Portlanders that you're talking to, or maybe they're people from somewhere else too?
It could have been,
because I don't know too many Black Portlanders that somebody Black say what's up and they be like, you know what I'm saying, don't talk to me. So I just always wonder, who are these suckers y'all be talking about?
Well, it's not. So let's be clear though, it wasn't aggressive. Like, nah, it's more like passive. It's kind of a passive aggressiveness that was like, like when I'm used to being like, hey, what's up? Like a little exchange, even between strangers, because we have, in my mind, a common thread, period.
Now, do you think that it was like easier for you to be that way in San Francisco or New York or both? Because when I went to New York, people wasn't just all what's up. You know what I mean?
Right. No, for sure. I think for real, coming from San Francisco and then living in LA for a long time, it was definitely different. The vibe was more communal, like, hey, what's up? An exchange. In New York, I don't think people are mean. They just busy. Shit. They just be like, you know what? Hey, what's up? You know, it's like a good head. Keep it moving. So the energy is just different. I've lived in a few places. Obviously, I just named some. And the energy is just different. But as far as I'm concerned, it's not going to stop me from being me. It's not going to stop me from trying to connect with my folks, no matter what it takes. So I'll just stop and have a conversation all day. I don't care if you're trying to pick your groceries, if you got something trying to pick your baby up. I'm still like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Where you live out here? Oh, okay. Where you from? What's up?
Right. Daryl, what's up, man? You got some questions for Trey Renee, brother?
So I'm kind of wondering, like, we all know the history of Portland and redlining and how long it took for actually Oregon overall to become integrated and things like that. Do you think that it would be helpful for Black transplants to Oregon to know some of the history of Oregon in order to be able to better connect with the people, native Portlanders?
Yes. Don't have me shake this wig off. I'm so vigorous. Yes, because I did not know. And so I got introduced to this book, A Peculiar Paradise, when I got out here, because I was like, this is just straight. It's just a little different out here. Like, I didn't know. You hear one thing when you're not from here, or at least you think you have this idea, like everything's so progressive and, kind of like liberal and everything, kumbaya for everybody. And then I got here and I was like, she kumbaya for who?
Right.
Like, now people, it's just this very interesting dynamic where it's like nicety a little bit. And so not from us, I'm talking about from others, right? This little nicety-ness where they smile, but then behind, this like kind of shit going on. And so once I figured that out, I was like, oh, okay. So now I got to try and work within this system that's really wasn't founded for us at all. Like I thought it was kind of like balanced, not at all, until I read that book and started talking to some folks who were from here, some of the elders in the community when I was working on my licensure, because I'm still a licensed clinical social worker out here. I have a lot of clients sprinkled around, around the area. And they'd be like, what's up? Oh my gosh, that's Miss Tracy. Yes. But when I started talking to some real people, getting down and dirty in some conversations and actually reading some stuff, that's when I was like, oh, okay. It helps me to navigate a little better. So Daryl, I think you're right. People should have some kind of like welcome packet or something. Can we get Black some kind of sometimes we got to get on their radar and give them a little packet, a little something.
I think that's a great idea.
I think that's that's actually something we're talking about doing in the group, like a welcoming committee for people who just recently got here and just kind of make them feel welcome. Because for me, it feels uncomfortable when I hear people say that, because for a long time when I was coming up, me and you are the same age, Trey. So when I was coming up here in Portland, first of all, I grew up Black in Portland. So I was with my cousins and my family and at my church and at my school around Black people. So the white people kind of played the background for me in my experience growing up here. Okay. So when I go to Atlanta or Alabama or any place like that I've been to, the culture shock for me wasn't as big as culture shock for people when they come here and they're surrounded by white folks. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel uncomfortable around Black people because that's where I grew up. And so for a long time, people weren't coming to Portland. And so we're happy to see people from other states start to recognize Portland and see us as a viable place to raise a family and whatnot. So I feel like it's my home, and I feel like it's kind of my responsibility, just as in my home, if I had a visitor come from out of state, I would want to make them feel welcome. Right. So I'm saying, when you got here, did you have some experiences where Portlanders, Black Portlanders, kind of didn't make you feel welcome? Not just the, hey, what's up, but like any specific experience, like, that you can think of where it was kind of like, hey, hold on. And in addition, I'm sorry, I'll let you go. But the other thing would be, do you have some long-term Portland friends that you consider, family? And do you feel like Portland is a second or third or fourth home?
Absolutely. So let me break that question down because you asked me a couple of things.
Yeah,
Number one, I never felt outright unwelcome by any Black people in Portland, ever. Now, yes, would I have walked out and, seen some folks when I first got here and kind of just been like, hey, what's up? And there was a little passive aggressive kind of like, like, okay, yeah, hi. Yeah, but that's, like I said, it wasn't aggressive. And I never felt once we stopped and I had a conversation, or when I reached out to people where someone would be like, hey, I got people out in Portland, holler at them. When I hollered at them, it was like all love. Yeah. So no, where you from, everything came together. Like, that's when I learned, like, okay, it's not like that. You just have to be open because they don't know you. I just felt like people were a little bit guarded. That's all. Once you got to know somebody, even just a little bit, just even a full-on introduction and ask a couple questions, that's it. Like, it's all love. And I have so many people out here right now who are, I always, like, even on my radio show, I'm like, hey, what's up, family? Because that's how I feel. I feel like I could call anybody at any given time. I know you got some people on the panel. Look at Monique is sitting here. I see in the background. Monique from Plus One Society, SEI back in the day, jamming 95.5 back in the day. That's my dog. Like, there's so many people. And then new connections that I've made that I still feel super connected to and super close to. I can name, come on, I've been here for too long. I can name a million people. But to answer your question, 1000%, do I feel comfortable? Do I feel like this is a home? Absolutely. 100% do. And I'm not going to say that I'll never move because, look, my husband be moving and shaking. I'm moving and shaking sometimes. But always, I birthed 2 babies here. This is home.
Okay.
And brought one when she was 1 year old. So as far as she knows, this is home.
Okay.
Yeah. Get all up
Darryl, what's up, brother? What's up, Darryl?
So, I appreciate it. I'm wondering, like, so from your perspective, right, as a transplant, how would you describe the culture of Black Portland for someone who doesn't live here, so that they have like an understanding of what the culture is in Black Portland that you think would be helpful to them? Like, what way from a high level, because we're not a monolith, that would you describe that culture?
Once you in, you in.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Once you're in, you're in. It's not hard to get in, but you do have to put some effort in. I feel like if you're a transplant, you do have to put some effort in. And by the way, when we do this welcome package, y'all, can we make sure we have hairstylists, weaves, braids, short hair, relaxed, natural, all of it? Because that threw me for a whole loop when I got out here. I was like, who gonna do all of this mess up under here and put this on top and all that?
Right.
I want to see that.
There's a lot of viable candidates. There's a lot of viable candidates out there.
But when you first get out here, or at least, well, that was a long time ago. But when I first got out here, I was like, this is a big deal for Black women.
Right.
It's a huge deal. Who is going to do my hair? I need some examples. And that's another thing that helps make you more connected. You know how it is. If y'all go to the barbershop, you know what it is. It's the same, similar at the beauty salon. You start to get ingratiated with everybody. You start learning things. You sit around there long enough, you're going to have somewhere to eat. You're going to have somewhere to watch your babies. You're going to have something for everybody because the community is really tight once you get in.
Right.
In.
Go ahead, Darryl.
Oh.
Okay. So another thing I'm kind of curious about, and I think it goes back to when we were talking about people acknowledging one another, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember I grew up in New York. I'm going to admit that, right? But when I go back, I'm like a tourist. I've been here so long that this is my home, right? And they're asking me, why are you taking pictures of the skyscrapers? Because my friends from back home, they're on Facebook too. Why are you taking pictures of the skyscraper like you're a tourist? I said, well, I am a tourist now. Like, I've been in Portland so long, I'm from there. But one of the things that you mentioned, that was mentioned earlier, was about people acknowledging one another. And there was like the simple head nod, right? And maybe that's not something that's like common to us, but I just feel like in some ways we need to kind of really bring that back and promote that back. And I just want to know what your thoughts on, like, you don't have to run up and hug everybody that we meet, because we don't want to do that, but just some way that we can signal that we want to acknowledge that, hey, I know that you're there, or I see you there.
I love. Can we have a head nod campaign? I'm down. I will promote
Yes.
Campaign. Somebody write that down. We need a head nod
Head
campaign.
nod campaign in Portland. And everybody better start doing it. It's gonna be a whole movement, y'all.
Black
Yeah,
Portland.
yeah, can I tell you a story though? So
Yeah.
I was at work one day. I worked for this company, and this brother used to keep walking past me every day, right? And at the time, I worked in like this bullpen environment, where we kind of like faced the wall, so everybody had to pass us. And every day he walked past me, and so I said, "Hey, man," I said to my Caucasian coworker who was right next to me, I was like, "Hey, man, you familiar with the nod?" He's like, "Yeah, I know it. You know, you'll do the nod." I was like, "Hey, man," I'm not gonna say his name because you'll probably know him, but I was like, "Hey, man, come over here." I said, "I'm gonna let you know." I said, I'm gonna say it in front of him. I said, "Hey, man, Warren, are you familiar with the nod?" He says, "I'm familiar with the nod." I said, "You know, it's just a thing that us brothers do." I said, "So from now on, when you walk past me, if you walk past me and I don't at least get the nod, I'm going to get loud and I'm going to really embarrass you if I don't get the nod from now on." And so then he finally got the message. And I think that some people kind of feel funny, like in a professional setting, you know, with doing something like that. Like, oh, you know, it's kind of out of place. That's, you know, from my own time. And I could somewhat appreciate it, but it's not like other people, other cultures are not aware of it. That is something that people do, you know, and I think that there's also, you know, a classy way to do it so that, you know, you're at least acknowledged either via eye contact or something like that. But that's just my story of, you know.
No, it's a good one.
Yeah.
I think because here's the thing. So what? So what if everybody else sees it and they don't understand it? So what? I'm old. I've been in all these levels of different corporate America or radio stations, TV stations, and I've finally gotten to the point where I'm like, so what? And what they gonna do about it? You gonna be mad because I got a head nod, you know, I got a little something that goes on between us. How many things do you all have going on? Just y'all. Absolutely. That you need to keep us out of, purposely or systematically exclude us out of. I don't give a damn no more. I'm head nodding all over the place.
Right. Thank you.
Okay? And I want it to be a full arm movement.
Right.
Head nod campaign. We all for it. Like, we got
a movement.
Hey, we starting that immediately. We need to talk offline. You know what I'm saying? We need to make that happen immediately.
I'm with it.
Thank you.
All right.
That's all the time.
So here's what's up, man. It's about that time. We're gonna bring the panel in. So panel, I know you guys are in the background. I can see you guys all watching. I'm gonna bring you on one at a time. I'm going to say your name, and then I'm gonna allow you to see. This what happened. Last time we did this, people sent me their bios and their background and their resume, and I butchered them. I was messing up people's titles, and it was bad news. So you never have to worry about. I was messing up names, backgrounds, resumes. It was very unprofessional. But this is still a young show, and it's casual. You know what I mean? So you know, I'm gonna take that one for the team. So the first person I'm gonna add to the stream is Monique Sorrell Taylor. So we're going to get her on the screen.
Hi, everybody. Can you guys hear me?
Let me make sure I got you right. You're with Plus One Society.
I am.
And they can reach you on Instagram at Monique Sorrell.
Yes.
And on Twitter at the same. That's up on the screen. Trey Renee, we had your tags up on the screen the whole time too.
I saw them. Oh,
okay. All right.
We good. Hi,
Monique. Hey. How are you? Okay, I'm introducing myself, right?
Yep, go ahead.
So, well, thank you guys for tuning in. I am Monique Sorrell Taylor. I am born and raised in Portland, Oregon. I've been here my whole life. I do have a background in radio. I worked at Jammin' 95.5 with Trey Renee for about 5 years. I was a marketing manager over there before I transitioned into the largest Black-owned nonprofit and agency, Self Enhancement, Inc., where I was a project and partnership manager there. I was a senior program manager. I had caseloads of kids. So I got a lot of kiddos running around here, and they're getting old and in these streets now. I spent 17 years in the Portland nightlife scene. So I threw parties and produced events for many, many years, specifically for people of color, and really unapologetically for people of color, playing Black music every weekend. And then I'm currently the project and partnership manager for Plus One Society, which is a female and minority owned agency that just has a brand new satellite office here in Portland, Oregon. But we were originally based out of LA. So I'm here and happy to do that.
That's what's up. Yeah. So I met you through my brother, Ron. And as soon as I met you, I just started seeing, like, it's like when you see somebody that had the same car as you, like you buy a new car and then everywhere you go, you see that car. After I met you, I saw all these things you were doing all of a sudden. And it's just amazing. And we're honored to have you on the show.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and move to the next one. This dude right here, this is my guy, man. DeAngelo, bruh. I met this guy when we used to do this event called Poetic Justice. DeAngelo is a poet, and he came on and he was just amazing right off the top. Me and him have been cool ever since. And then and then I'm gonna let him tell it. But DeAngelo, this is the homie right here, so I'm gonna bring him on here. Give me a second. There he is. What's going on with you, brother?
What's going on with it, man? I am DeAngelo Gillispie from Atlanta, Georgia. Like Adrian said, we met. I moved to Portland, and pretty much I've been writing forever. So I'm an author. Put out a book. Back then, I just wanted to do a lot of spoken word and a lot of poetry and do shit like that. But you don't make a lot of money on that, so you still go to college just to make this whole poetry thing don't work out for you. You know what I'm saying? I moved to New York. Worked at Dell for a little while, still doing shows, still doing open mics. Moved out here, took a job at Intel. Well, moved to Cali, took a job at Intel, transferred out here. And yeah, man, I'm still doing shows. We throwing parties, doing open mics, still want to write books, still want to do things that are involved in art. Me and my partner, we started the 2 Cent podcast. We got the 2 Cent open mic, and we're just trying to create the things we want to see. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what's up. That's what's up. So speaking of your partner, we might as well bring him on. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Clint from the 2 Cent, co-host of the 2 Cent podcast. What's going on with you, brother?
I'm trying to find my camera.
There you go.
Hey, Monique, am I all right over there? Am I doing okay?
I see you, Clint.
Hey, that's my club partner over there.
The Mad Hatter.
Well, I am, I go by the moniker Uncle Clint. And like DeAngelo said, we started the 2 Cent the podcast, 2 Cent the open mic. We kind of filled in the footprint of Monique at a club. She was there hosting and doing her thing. And when she moved on to do some other things, she was like, hey, there's a gap right here. We need to fill in. And, her and her partners kind of, they were the welcoming committee for us to be able to, get out there, because you talk about being a transplant, and regardless of what anybody say, you got to have some kind of validation or somebody that's going to introduce you to the key players. And Monique and her crew were the key players, and we were able to fill in a gap, and we've been doing our thing.
That's what's up, man. Glad to have you here, brother. Next up, man, I think when I talk about Black Portland, man, this dude come to mind. Like, I feel like if Black Portland was in the dictionary, it'd be a picture of Sam, bro, smiling at us. You know what I'm saying? Like, he embodies what I think of when I talk about Black Portland. And me and him have only met on a couple of occasions, but the few times that I've heard him speak publicly, bro, I was inspired. You know what I'm saying? So this is a real dude. So I'm going to stop now. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Sam Thompson.
Good evening, everybody. I am Sam Thompson, a native of Northeast Portland, 22nd Florida, born and raised here my whole life, with a couple of stops outside of here. But I'm Sam Thompson. I'm a restorative justice specialist for Portland Public Schools, as well as have a promotional company and sports management company called Next Level Enterprises. Also the founder of Black Men and Women United, Restorative Village, a couple of nonprofits here. I'm just trying to stay engaged, a part of this community, making sure that the time that I do get here, I'm being productive and trying to move the Portland culture forward, being very intentional about talking about Black folks. I'm not really big on disguising what my motivation is, and my motivation is Black Portland, Black folks doing Black. So yeah, that's me. That's me. That's where we at with it. Oh, somebody told me to turn my camera horizontal. All right. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
But yeah, that's me. I'm Sam.
So next up, man. Oh, what happened to you, Daryl? Did you call off? Back in it.
I think I came back.
All right.
Yeah, I think I
So
came back.
next up, man, we got my sister, man, Kiyoshi. Are you there, Kiyoshi?
I am here. I am here.
So Kiyoshi, man, this is my family, bro. This is my people. You know what I'm saying? I love you. Good to see you here. Kiyoshi is an equity consultant facilitator at Empress Rules Consulting. And go ahead and introduce yourself. What happened? Oh, there it goes. I'm like, where the camera at?
I was just out in nature, y'all. So excuse my appearance. I'm just coming all natural. I was out there, and there is a beach in Washington that's like 30 minutes away from my house. I just found out about today. So I was like, wow. Anyway, hi, everyone. I'm Kiyoshi Owens. I'm a racial equity consultant. I most definitely have attended Monique's parties, and they were lit. My grandparents came here in the 40s during the Great Migration, and we've been here ever since. And I love Portland. I love the Black people in Portland. I love the nature in Portland. I want to welcome everyone who has moved to Portland. If y'all didn't get the proper welcome, I apologize. And I'm just feeling really grateful to be here. What I do is I'm a racial equity consultant. So I work with organizations to create inclusive environments through DEI-centered strategic planning, community engagement, executive coaching, and workshops as well. And so my whole goal is basically, if you're a person of color, especially Black people, to kind of come and get in there and take some shots for you before you get in there. And just kind of like, teach people how to behave. I thought I was doing something different, but that's really what I'm doing, is just teaching people how to behave. And so really grateful that God has really blessed me to have this opportunity, and I'm happy to be here. I can't hear you.
I think you're on mute, Adrian.
Yeah, he is. Adrian, you're on mute.
I knew that. Everybody was paying attention. You know how they go. My next guest, his name, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this right, is Keontae. He hit me up on Instagram and wanted to be a part of the conversation. He's a transplant, quote unquote. I say quote unquote because a whole bunch of people hit me up and said they was offended by the term. So you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do the air quotes from now on when I say it, but we'll get into that. So Keontae, is that the correct pronunciation?
Yes, Keontae, you said it correctly.
How you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good.
Tell us a little about yourself, brother.
All right, my name is Keontae Watkins. I moved here a year and a half ago from Columbus, Ohio. I'm a hip hop dancer for the NBA Portland Trailblazers, Rip City crew. I also own my own dance company out here for Black youth, boys and girls, Black kids, called Black Culture Performing Arts. I choreograph TV shows, choreograph movies. I teach adult classes, and that's majority of where most of my income comes from, and all that stuff, from just dancing and teaching and that's my professional job. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. It's nice to meet you, brother.
You guys too. Appreciate being on the call today.
Old dog new tricks.
So what?
Old dogs new tricks.
Oh, I teach anybody anything. Like, okay, it doesn't matter.
Man, you was doing a move on your profile picture that looked crazy. It was like a handstand.
Oh yeah, it's an L kick. I had one hand and then my leg was all the way over, and I made like an L with my leg. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we gotta get Trey Renee doing the L kick.
Okay, Sam. Watch your mouth.
Got you.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And then I got one more guest who is a member of the Black Portland Facebook group. His name is Z.I. Z.I. been in there causing havoc. Z.I. been coming in there and just giving his strong points of view. And you could take it or you could leave it, but he's going to come in and he's going to say how he feel. And I respect that. So let's get Z.I. on the line. What's going on with you, Z.I.? You want to do your phone horizontal, or is that just a picture, fam?
Nah, fam.
Hey.
You good?
All right. What's the word, Z.I.? How you doing, brother? We can't hear you. You on mute?
Cuddy got to turn on his mic.
You on mute, brother.
Trying.
There you go.
Oh, he's trying. There you go.
There we go. Can you hear me?
We can.
Mhm.
All right, yeah. So it's Zai. It's Zai. I appreciate the effort, though. I appreciate the effort on that.
Man, you put the Z and then you put hyphen I. That sound like Z-I to me. If it was Zai, you should have put Z-Y-E.
Spell his name today. Oh my
Where
God.
you go?
Look what you did.
Oh, I kicked you out.
There he is.
My fault, man. No excuses, brother. I'm sorry, Zai. Go ahead and speak to us, brother.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Back.
We got you.
No, so y'all done see me in the group. I met Sam before. I done see some of y'all Instagram pages and stuff, man. I follow Trey Renee because I'm heavy into like radio back home in Dallas and K104. So I definitely peeped out your stuff before. So, but I mean, I'm just a transplant. I'm not offended by the term. I think people getting offended by that. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I moved out here about a year ago, about a month before the protest started. My welcome to Portland was very different. Because it wasn't like COVID, I was able to see the city how it normally is. Definitely got to see the city in a bit more feisty way. And I think in a lot of ways, though, I got to see the city in a very real way. You know what I mean? In a very honest way about how people really feel about some stuff in the street. So that was cool. But I joined the Black Portland group because I seen it was out there. I was like, hell yeah, let me get a part of that. And then y'all know the story from there. So
I love your energy, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, Zai is he's a rising star in the Black Portland
Absolutely.
Facebook too, for sure. So our first question is going to be for the natives, man. I want you guys to describe what it was like to grow up Black in one of the whitest cities in America. So let's start with Monique.
All right. So I think for me, my experience was different. So a lot of people, I get this question often, and I think they want the answer to be like I was the only Black person around and all these things, but that wasn't the case for me. I grew up in Northeast Portland. I attended an elementary school that was majority Black, and so I had a lot of friends that were of color. And then as I began to work and gain a career, I worked for agencies and for places that house Black people. I will say though, working in radio, working for a hip hop station in radio, although we played all Black music, the staff was not diverse. So I will tell you, when Trey Renee walked in, I will never forget the day that her first day, and I was so excited. I was like, "Come on, we got what you need. We're gonna lay it out for you," because I was so excited to see another person of color at the radio station. But for the most part, I worked with, I won't say all Black people, but a majority of Black folks. I threw parties for Black folks. And so, my experience was different. But growing up here, you learn to navigate. You learn to kind of understand that you may or may not be the only Black person in the room. And how are you going to stand your ground? How are you going to stand out? How are you going to be heard in those spaces? And so I learned a lot of that growing up here. And to be honest, I think it helped me as I transitioned into different careers and worked with different folks throughout the country, recognizing that I may not be I may be the only Black person, or I may not be. And so I was able to experience that, I think, a little differently than most people.
That's what's up. So I'm gonna just tell y'all off the top, man. If we ask a question and you just want to come out and say something, feel free to come out and say something. It's a very casual conversation, but we're gonna move it on to Sam. What's going on, brother?
Oh man, not too much. Mine is much the same with Monique. So growing up in Northeast Portland, I grew up in pre-gentrified Northeast Portland. So where the 50, 60,000 Black people live between Interstate and 42nd and Columbia and Broadway. So I went to a Black elementary school. I went to a Black middle school. And so I went to a Black church. So my experience growing up was very much, you understood that being in Portland when you went to different areas, right? So we didn't go past 82nd back then. We weren't in Gresham. We weren't in the numbers. We were all put in that one area. We were in Northeast Portland. So we knew as athletes, right? When you go play a basketball game in Lake Oswego or Beaverton, that's when you're going to see all the white people, right? So I lived in my community was black. It was black stores, black businesses, everything. And so the Portland that I came back to after school, after college, was a totally different experience than the one that I grew up in. But growing up in Portland, I had the experience. I moved to Memphis to start high school. So I went from the whitest city in America to the blackest city in America. And so immediately just with, seeing black police officers and seeing black teachers and black principals, which we still had here, right? We had black principals and Officer Jackson, and, we had black, Chief Moose, and we had all that stuff here. But Portland gave you a skill set to be able to navigate both worlds, being able to be, amongst your own people at the same time, understanding that in certain situations you might be the only black person in the room. But again, my summers consisted of being in Alberta or Urban Park, which was black, or being part of SEI in the summer, or being part of DAPO, you know what I'm saying? So I was always invested and engulfed in a very, very strong, family-oriented black community. I think that's where things get a little bit different now, right? Because all of us we all grew up together. So we knew each other at some point. Either our parents went to school together, either we went to the same church, our cousins, we sharing cousins. So I think part of Portland's black community is family, because we all know each other. And so like how Trey Renee spoke to earlier, once you in. But, it takes a process, right, of, being intentional about getting in. And so, like, I think that's why a lot of us here in Portland are so protective of Portland, right? And the blackness of being in Portland. Because it's the dumbest shit in the world when you go to different places in America and you say, where you from? I say, Portland. They say, Oregon? Yeah, man, I'm from Portland. There's black people there? Nah, man, it's just me and my mom, man. We're the only black people in the whole city. What do you mean? Yeah, so, so that was my experience, man. My experience growing up was really black, but it's certain situations, in certain spaces where you would be, where it would be, white.
Hey, can I ask a question to the natives really quick?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
I keep hearing y'all say it's like once you in, but there's a process to it, or there's work to be put in, and like, what does that mean? Like, because back home, like if you move to the city and we don't know you, we gonna see who you is, but you ain't gotta do nothing. Just once we know who you are, we know who you are. You know what I'm saying?
That's the exact same thing we're saying. Once we know who you are, we know who you are.
So there's a level of almost fact checking, right? Like in Portland, everybody is family. We all know each other. So somebody wants to reach out and say, do you know him? What you know about him? They cool? Okay, so once you get that, yeah, I met him, he was amazing, or I met her, she was dope, then it's okay, there's that level of acceptance. And I think I will say sometimes people move here, and oftentimes when people move to places in general, right, they want to reinvent themselves. So they're telling you the biggest and the best stories they got, and they're sharing all these things. And for us here in Portland, we're looking like, is this the truth? Is this not the truth? Somebody vet this for us, right? Somebody fact check this for us. And once that's done, it's like, that's all we need to know, was that you were good people. And once somebody says you're good people, that's it.
So can I kind of comment on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
So last week we were recording a podcast, and a gentleman said, man, I saw you guys billboards all over the city. So I went out and asked people who should know who you are, and nobody knew who you were. So who you need to check in with? That's what I want to know. Who you need to check in with?
Man, that's a very good question.
Who's the check-in king?
Yeah, who we need to check in with? I'm from Compton, so I know who people need to check in with.
Right, who
we need to check in with in Portland?
Who the OGs, man? I heard the OG one.
They didn't ask Monique, because Monique, she's been knowing me a few years now.
I gave you a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Nah, definitely. Hey, man, what's up, Clint? I'm Sam, man. Sam,
hey, believe it or not, I know who you are, man. I follow you.
We need to know who each other is, man. So
I seen Sam sitting out in front of a building, but I didn't want to stop him because I didn't want to seem like I was a groupie. You know what I mean? Hey, Sam be doing it around the city, man. That's a famous dude right there.
Yeah, Sam the man.
I appreciate it, man. But no, I think that's it's the same thing. Like I go to Houston all the time, right? And
Right.
you got to tap in. You know what I'm saying? When you get there, some certain folks you got to holler at. It's the same in a lot of places. So I would think Monique definitely is somebody you want to holler at when you get here. Myself, Kiyoshi as well. You know what I'm saying?
But see, in that space, it sounds more like, you know, if you want to tap in like on a business tip, right? Because you said in Houston, right? Like I'm from Dallas, so like whenever I travel down to Houston, I got a big homie that stay out there, but I ain't never really been in them, but maybe 4 times in my life. But every time I tap in, like just when I get down there, like, hey, it was good, bro. I'm in the city. Like, what's up? What's the play? I don't really gotta be on no type of, oh, I got all these accolades, or I work for this company, that company. I can just show up and be like, yeah, homie.
Oh, man, I don't think it's that. I just think it's, man, come here. I think for us, man, it's like come here and don't be no weirdo. You know what I'm saying? You come out here being a weirdo, don't nobody want to.
Hey, real quick, my man DeAngelo been trying to get in for a minute. Go ahead. What you have to say, D?
My bad, folks. My bad.
Man, wait a minute. Come here, don't be no weirdo. Here? What y'all talking about? Shit, I thought this was the place.
Weird city.
Nah, that's weird. That's where the white people keep it weird, fam. Y'all tapping in with the wrong folks, man.
Man, hold on, y'all. Before we go too deep, y'all gotta tell me what the hell tapping in means or checking in means. Because that just, I don't know. Checking in how?
I think if you want to know where to go out at, what places to eat at that may or may not be Black owned, where to get your hair cut at, to be a referral. A lot of times when people come here, they just want to know, where do I get my hair done? Trey touched on it earlier. Where do I get my hair done? Where can I go to maybe see some other people of color? Because I'm spinning my wheels and I haven't seen anybody yet. So it absolutely does not have to be business. So when just reach out and say, I am here. I got some questions.
And Oregon is 90% entrepreneurship. So I do just want to put that out there.
Even if you ask them, even if you ask folks, they don't fuck with you anyway. I mean, Black people don't even speak to people out here. I mean, okay, so
where you live? Yeah, that's probably where you live at. If ain't nobody talking to you in Beaverton, that's a bunch of out of town things.
But that's what I was gonna say. So I'll give my own personal experience. Like, I expect this shit in Hillsborough. You know what I'm saying? I expect the people not to fuck with me at Intel. I don't give a fuck about that. That's fine. I have no problem with that part. But like, you know what I'm saying? When we first got here, we would go out. We would go out anyway. And like y'all was talking about the head knot. You can't even get a head knot from these motherfuckers.
Man.
Where do you live at?
Wow. I think that's crazy.
On that
I know when
knot,
I saw you, I spoke to you.
Yeah. But okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Like, you watch this, like, and I feel that, but it's like, and I'm not the transplant that gonna hate on Portland, because Portland has changed my whole life, even if it's just through a job. And I've lived enough places in my life to where I would never judge a whole state, a whole city of people by the actions of a few. I ain't had no problems in Portland. But you know what I'm saying? Like, when people say they can't, but I feel like I probably look at it differently. I've lived just enough places to where I don't view it as, oh man, ain't nothing to do out in Portland. I am more the mindset of it ain't shit to do in Portland. That's true. So let's create it. I want to create the things I want to see. People, I'm a poet. I'm a performer. That's what I do. So instead of coming out here and asking people about it, and then the shit I can't find it, Adrian will tell you that's how I met Adrian, looking for spots to do my thing. So you go and, you know, John has something going, and maybe it'll be on, maybe it'll be off, but you just create the shit you want to see. Go ahead, Kiyoshi.
Let's go, Kiyoshi.
I don't know if I should speak on. I want to touch on what you're talking about, DeAngelo, because I think part of it also comes with the context and the history of Portland and what the Black folks have been through. Having those venues, we used to have all types of venues, all types, all that, and white supremacy just worked really hard to take it all away. Like Sam had a restaurant and a place, comedy. Like there was all types of opportunities. Hold on 1 second. But there was a lot of opportunities that we as Black people fought for that they shut down. And so what you might see is I love the fact that you're here, like ready and willing to create, because we need that energy, because a lot of us, and I'll keep it personal, local, and immediate, are exhausted of just years of just trying. Like, you know, people don't want us to play our music. You know, white boys have a fight down the street, nothing happens. If there's a fight over here or whatever, if it is a white boy in a Black club, they shutting the Black club down. Dress code.
I've heard of that, and the funny thing about it is, I got kicked out of a club one night for wearing all blue, and a homegirl who live in South Carolina now sent me Sam's article because she used to live here. They same club kicked me out for wearing a blue sweater with some blue ones. Like, so I understand, and that's kind of how, that was my introduction to who Sam was. I ain't never been, I've been in the same room with Sam, but I ain't never spoke to him. But you hear people who are movers and shakers out here, but I guess
you know what it is? We spent so many years creating a development. So there were so many years spent building up clubs, Sam owning a bar, us, restaurants, and us having spaces for this. And Portland is gentrified now. And so there is a huge difference. If you are new coming to Portland right now, all of those things that you want to see, they've been here, right? They were here and they've been dismantled, and now we have to recreate them and create those spaces. Now, so you got to find your space. Yeah. And it takes
I want to hear from Keontae. Keontae is probably the only person on the panel that hasn't spoke to this shit. Go ahead, Keontae. And hold on, before you go, I kind of want to switch moods for a minute. I just want to know, you can still say whatever you have to say to what's been said so far, but what was it like moving to Portland, and how are you dealing with the culture?
It's kind of interesting because you guys are talking about the exact same thing that I'm thinking. Where's the Black people at? Like, where's the culture at? Like, where's the bars? Like, where's the people at? So like where I'm from, it's like 33% Black, but like the city is all Black people. So like for here, Hillsborough, Gresham, Beaverton, those would be like white people. But Portland will be all Black people. Like all the schools are just all Black. There's Black events, Black festivals, Black parties, Black. It's just a whole culture of Blackness. So being used to like barely seeing white people in my life, which is like rare for people, but for me to like really see white people, and now all I see is white people, I'm just like, I feel like I'm losing my roots being out here because I don't see the Black people. But you guys are all explaining like we had it before we was out, but they took it away from us. So that like explains like, okay, they had Black culture, but it's just gone. But
I think that my bad, Key. But I think that we still suffering from some PTSD with this, right? Like we go to the Alberta, go to last Thursday and walk down the street I grew up on 22nd Alberta, right? Pine Street Biscuits right now is where we play wall ball. It was an abandoned building. Man, I lived in the second house right off of 22nd, and going to those neighborhoods, man, and going where you grew up, and the house that you grew up is tore down, right? Yeah. It's nobody in your neighborhood anymore, right? You remember your corner stores, all that stuff is gone. When I was part of this thing last year, and I had to speak like to what my experience with Black Portland was. I said, man, honestly, Northeast Portland replaced Black people with Black Lives Matter signs, right? So the people got replaced by signs, and so for us, who again, we all grew up in the area with each other. So it was back then, if you was new, all right, who the new dude, who the new girl, because you knew immediately. Right. And so then you would be able to go have some conversation and reach out and, hey, man, this is where, it used to be on 25th, you could go get your hair cut over at Leon's. Right. Or you can go over on it was all our stuff was right there. And for me, man, I've hosted Good in the Hood, for the last 15 years. Right. So which is a whole weekend of nothing but Blackness. Right. We do Juneteenth. Man, I owned a bar here that was Black. Right. I've been as part of with Monique putting together Black concerts, comedy shows, everything. And what happens with that is they tear our shit up. Right. with Portland being such a a small space, right? And so if Sam is having something, everybody's coming.
Yeah.
So that means everybody's coming. So that means the niggas that don't like each other, the girls who don't like each other, because we don't have. So, you know, we can go to Atlanta, right? Or we can go to Columbus. And, you know, the West Side dudes go over here. The North Side go over here. The folks with money go down here, right? Here, everybody's going to the same thing. And so it creates a certain level of foolishness, right?
Yeah.
And we don't have the leverage or the opportunity, man. I like he was talking about, man. I went to a club in a red shirt and some red shoes, and then P-Dub sent me home, man. You know what I'm saying? And, luckily that day I had enough, right? And so I did what everybody been wanting to do for years, and I sued them. And so now we able to move around and go to these spaces. But that's been happening since we were kids, right? Because once they said, hey, man, you can't sag. Then you start wearing the little pants. Then your pants was too little. Then they tell you know what I'm saying? So it was always all this stuff. So I think people in Portland, for us now in 2021, to hear people talk about how, man, Portland ain't no black. Man, the same people live here. We just spread out now. You know what I'm saying? It was a time, like you said, where everybody.
And I would like to just kind of build on to some of that history, bro. So like even where I think Trey Renee, I think you said you came here in 2006. Is that what you said? So even you kind of missed a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? Because what really happened was in the 90s, in the mid 90s, late 80s, early 90s, the crack epidemic came through and tore our community up. You see what I'm saying? And then we had Measure 11, which was a result of the Clinton crime
gang banging here. You know what I'm saying? Ain't never had.
That got everybody locked up. And so there was a time where Portland was like top 10 per capita murder rate because of the gang violence that was here. The police didn't know how to deal with it. The community didn't know how to deal with it. And the way that they dealt with it was locked up a generation of fathers. You see what I'm saying? In the meantime, like I always say, city planners had plans for the city that didn't include us. They wanted to bring that Max line through there. They already envisioned all of these restaurants and storefronts and things like that. Now we got new seasons on Vancouver and Fremont. You see what I'm saying? So it's a whole history there that people who come here, y'all just missed it. You know what I'm saying? But the thing I kind of want to turn the corner just a little bit.
Clint got something. He had his church finger up for like 10 minutes. Man.
Go ahead, Clint.
Let the deacon pastor minister speak. No, I want to ask this question, and I'm going from I'm gonna call it our time. This is the time period of the Trey Renee and Uncle Clint time period where we came into Oregon from 2006 and let's say now, the modern times, and I've seen Sam promote events. I've seen Monique promote events. I've seen Adrian promote events. Rose Bent was out there performing. But guess what I didn't see? Black people. Black people wasn't supporting these events. White people kicking in the door to get in to these black events. So, and I can't speak before 2006, but I know 2007 to 2010, I was on the hip hop scene. And then I got into video and photography, in the city. But you're trying to promote stuff for black folks, just like everybody saw my man's article about being racially profiled, right? And then him winning a lawsuit and then that place being proven to be racist. But you know what was happening? Mingle Lounge, which was black owned, still had to compete with that racist company because black folks was posted in Black Portland on the places to go. And it was the racist place that we had proof that they were racist. So now that we're here and we have this new group joining with Portland and the Transplants, and now we have an opportunity to rebuild. And every time you turn around, Trey Renee, she, hey, I'm going to be here and I'm doing this. And white folks is going, I'm there. Black folks is going, man, that's corny. I'm not with that.
And that's the
We're
problem.
not supporting each other.
That's a big problem. That's a huge problem.
I would disagree with my stuff. I would say 99% of the time, mine was probably all black for the most part. Very few.
No, you're special. Everybody know you.
What I'm saying is, I mean, we threw parties for Black people, and Black people showed up. So the spaces we created, and Sam and Yoshi speak to it, is the spaces we created were for people of color, and people of color showed up. So that was
Okay.
Can I chime in real quick? Because now I got my social work hat on. As I'm listening to all of the stories of Black Portland in its heyday, as opposed to what a lot of us are experiencing now. And when I'm hearing this, I'm hearing a lot of trauma that may keep a lot of Black folks away from Black events, period. Whether they think it's corny, whether they think it's gonna be hot, all because it was so hot for Black folks getting arrested, locked up, harassed all the time. It was almost like, who wants to bother going out is what it sounds like. It's a lot of what
that's exactly what it sounds.
On top of the divide, can I say this? Because I feel like there's a little part that we're not discussing, which is the K divide. So we were talking about when we grew up. I didn't actually get to know Sam and Monique until I became an adult because I'm from North Portland. And people
That's a
from
whole
North
different
Portland
world.
did not really deal with people on the other side of the K. It was like Crips and Bloods all day. And so now like,
we got you, DeAngelo. I see you. You next, bro. Go ahead, Kiyoshi.
I feel like that is also a major issue as to why Black folks didn't support, because it's like, oh, such and such is going to be there, or I'm coming heated, or whatever, like, or I ain't going because such and such is going to be there. You know what I mean? And so I feel like, that divide and conquer strategy that we keep seeing over and over again, that's how we've seen it in Africa with the Tutsis and the Hutus. For us, it was the case. And I had cousins on both sides that murdered each other. And you're right. There is a lot of unhealed trauma that is continually perpetuated. It's not even over yet. It's not over.
But also,
a lot of Black folks don't even have an opportunity to heal.
Hold on. Let's get DeAngelo in. Let's get DeAngelo in.
He waving his head.
Y'all ain't gonna like this shit. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I don't give a fuck about none of that. What happened in the past, I don't understand. If we are going to be responsible for our communities, right? And I think we all have decided that we are going to be responsible for our communities. When we and me and Clint just talked to somebody last week that was telling us how Portland used to be. If we're responsible for our communities right now, then saying shit like, well, it happened like this. I understand that things happen like that, but if we saying that we want to make the culture and the community better for the present and the future, we don't get to say shit like, oh man, remember when it was like this? Because I know Sam at a restaurant. I know Love Jones was cool. I know they used to play live music at some Soleil's, wherever. I ain't never been to none of this shit. But I know because people remember it. My whole thing is, if we all can remember it and say, oh man, we used to do that. I don't give a fuck about that, man. I'm talking about you know what I'm saying?
So this is
what we gonna do this week. You know
Hey, so
that's the point.
Here we
So
go.
I think that's
Hold on, real
quick.
quick. Hold on. Here we're gonna go with Sam, then we're gonna go with Zai, and then Keontae.
So no, I 100% feel that, right? And so what we're saying is, we got stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? Every day. We still have things currently going on. I just don't think so. We ain't did shit in a year and a half, right? So it's been the Rona. But pre-Rona, you know what I'm saying? It was stuff. We got stuff. We got stuff going on. I just don't think that everybody gets that information, right? So whoever it is that you're talking to, whoever it is that you spending time with, you kicking it with, because that's all I do, right? Everything I do. But what happens is, it don't stay. So it might be we doing something at Hobos right now. Then it's gonna be Bar 15. Then it's gonna be it's constantly changing because we have to continue.
But you plugged in, you grew here, you went to school here, they know you anyway. It'd be like if I was doing some shit in Atlanta, they gonna fuck with me because they know me. I'm D, they know me, they know me. We fucking
all right,
so that's my point. So right, if you're trying to do some stuff, fuck with me.
Let's get Zai in. Go ahead, Zai.
All right, so the question was it like what was my Black experience here in Portland? And then can you bring the question back up real quick?
I sure can.
Make sure I remember it.
It is
But they going crazy in the comments, boy.
What was it like moving to Portland? How are you dealing with the culture?
All right. So
with the culture shock. I'm adding the comments as quickly as possible, man. They going crazy.
They going crazy, man. All right, so this is my question. This is what I want to speak on, man, because this is what I first seen when I got here. I came out here 2 years ago to visit, right? When I first got out here, the first thing I noticed was the trees and how urban everything was. You know, white people love to call black shit urban, right? So immediately I was like, oh, the city really black as hell. You know what I mean? You can see it on the walls. You can see it. You can see it in the city. But then I started asking people like, so what happened? You know, gentrification is a thing, and I get that. But what made that so what's such a contrast with me is there's still this strong ass urban culture of motherfuckers like people are doing like what gangster stuff, you know what I mean? And it's still like this hood air or like this weird dynamic that I don't necessarily know if it like existed originally here in Portland. Now, what y'all saying is educate me. Clearly, it was deeper than that from what I know. But even still, like with this being such a bubble, it made me feel like black people here in this city were reaching out to other regions for their black identity, which I understand I can relate to. I mean, that's what it looks like though. When you guys see people like, I just see people dressing a certain way, talking a certain way, bro, listening to a certain type of music, and I'm like, that's cool, but like, where that come from out here? Like, I don't hear people jamming Mac Dre, bro. People play a lot of Future out here, fam, and that's on the other side of the country. You know what I mean? At the same time, it's all.
What the fuck?
Let me finish.
Let him finish, y'all.
What I'm saying though is like when I step into spaces where it's like, yo, where's the black folk at, right? And then where is the black identity of Portland? I don't see this black Portland. I see black people in Portland trying to be what they think black is, and it's confusing to me because we're not a monolith, bro. And you being black means that's what that is. So it's like whatever your experience is, even though it may be different here, that's still very much so a real black experience, and you don't gotta try to restructure that or reach out nowhere else to be that. So go ahead.
I just want to speak to that real quick, and then I'm gonna let Keontae do his thing. Then we're gonna open it back up. I think that some of that has to deal with the idea that oftentimes when people come here from other places, they think that because we grew up around all of these white people that somehow our black experience isn't as black as theirs. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like we trying to. I think that when you say it feels like you trying to go out and mimic these other cultures, that's a reflection of the way you feel on the inside, because you don't have a true understanding of where we get that from. So you projected your own missing your connection, missing your home, you coming into an environment that you don't recognize, you know, and then you start to look around for what's causing that. You see what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Yeah, no, and somebody told me that in the group, and I really thought on that. I think it was actually you, Kiyoshi. I think that's you that told me that, and it was but I really thought on that, and that's like, it's profound. So then it makes me ask, the next question is like, okay, so then what is the if there is this core of black Portland, there is this essence, there is this deep-rooted blackness that is from here, that isn't about people moving here and planting it here, but it's very much so rooted in the city. Besides the gentrification, what happened then?
Because like, family, our thing is family, right? Portland black community is family, right? And so I think that's why it seems tough, you know what I'm saying, for people that's outside of the family. Right, yeah, okay. Because we had to be black in a white city our whole life, right? So all we had to and how we had to rock with was each other, right? And so that was kind of what our culture is, right? But if you know us, right, we listen to Cool Nuts, we listen to Dre Steves, we listen to J.R. Patton. We have our own, you know, Ashley Merriweather, all of that. We got our own music scene, all of that stuff, but of course, the radio play Future, right? So you go to the club, playing what's pumping.
Hey Sam,
our black culture is really, it was tight knit, right? And it's the same way. That's why it's so personal.
I got one last piece.
I want to let Keontae get in. I want to let Keontae get a voice.
I got one last thing I want to ask real quick.
Okay, but so here we're gonna let you ask, then we're gonna let Keontae get his.
He'd have had three one last thing.
Yeah. Let's go. Let Keontae do his thing.
He's good.
Come on, brother.
I'm gonna change the topic a little bit, just a little bit. As a transplant, my honest opinion of moving here, like fresh, it feels like, even though this seems really fake to me, it seems like there's white people trying to do more for black people here than the actual black people that are. And it's like when they do it, it seems so fake to me. Like it's not genuine. Like they're trying to, but they don't know how to because they can't relate to us. So I just feel like that's a big problem to see that, my opinion, to see that, to think that white people are trying to do more for black people when in reality they really can't. I mean, it's a problem because I feel like they don't know how. Like they can't relate to us. So how can you try and help something or feel something that you can't relate to?
Can you please be specific about what the white folks are doing for the black people? Can you be specific about that, please?
So for example,
please and thank you.
So for example, I went to a Juneteenth festival last year. Well, last year, and it was hosted by white people. They were the ones to host the Juneteenth festival, and we all know Juneteenth is it was in Eugene. It was in Eugene. And there was like white people.
Wait, hold on. Before you beat the young man down.
I gotta learn. Like I'm a transplant, so I gotta learn because I don't know. So I'm gonna just go somewhere, thinking that.
It's all good, nephew.
Before y'all beat the young man down.
It's hosted by me, bro. The Black Juneteenth hosted by. I help host that, fam. So come to the Black Juneteenth, come to Good in the Hood.
Where's the hood?
Wait. He went to the Get Out movie.
On the real tip of what he said, though, even in the protest scene, I felt that, like, even down into like when it came down to doing
that was
marches,
for white people. We wasn't down there running around. You was at the park with me, making real plans for Black Portland. All that.
But I'm saying with the black people that I was working with, bro, they don't fuck with me, bro. I didn't see me at none of them.
But this is what I'm saying, Zai. Where was we at every Wednesday with 100 black men, right?
That's facts.
So that's where we at. Now, if you want to go downstairs and yell downtown and yell and throw some rocks, that's for the white people. We ain't doing that shit.
But what I mean though is like
trying to really make an impact and really do some real work. We're not
even in that space though. Sam,
why are white people the ones that get more acknowledgement for trying to?
Because they white.
That's a problem.
Because of their privilege.
I kind of say something. I really want to actually ask you that question. Why do you think they get more exposure than we do? Why do you think that?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the marketing. Like, I don't know if it's the networking, but like a lot of stuff you guys talking about, like I just don't hear about. Like I don't know what it is or.
Look at Cuddy Clinton.
So welcome to Black Portland, man. Come join the Facebook group. Follow us at We Are Black Portland.
No, I'm in Black Portland. I was in that the first day I moved here.
Nah,
we ain't holding nothing against you, Keontae.
No, on a real tip, Sam. On a real tip, people like you in this protest scene, man, and like just in that space of doing real change and stuff are rare because what I've noticed without it being like white people get more platform is they're more willing to hear opinions and perspectives that they don't agree with that don't necessarily sit well with them. Black people in the scene, man, ain't trying to hear stuff they don't agree with, and they quick to throw you under the bus. I done had people lie on me, assault me, and all that because they don't agree with me, bro. And I done had white people
because y'all was downtown with them white people throwing rocks.
Not that, bro. It wasn't that though. It was an actual march. It was a planned march and protest event, bro.
And my thing is all that stuff. But listen, bro, the only reason folks was doing marches and doing all this other shit was to get on TV. And
it's fake.
That's not evoking change, P.
Yeah.
So that is a whole nother conversation.
I resonate with that.
That's something totally different.
Yeah. So when you came there, you said, I said, nigga, you ain't gonna never see me down there.
Yeah, I remember that.
How do you explain the fact that Portland doesn't even know what Portland is? And what I mean by that is this. The young man talked about Juneteenth. I sat in a barbershop off of Alberta, Juneteenth, and listening to black men go, do you know what Juneteenth is?
Man, I had
black
to say
where was them niggas from, fam? Don't put on us.
They from Portland, and I don't want to out them because I don't want to destroy their businesses, you know.
Yeah.
But
you need to, please.
These were even older black men who didn't know what Juneteenth was.
Facts. I had that same experience.
So, Clint, I don't know if that is a Portland problem. That's just probably a people problem, right? That's
that could be
need to be educated. That's not because they live
got his hand up.
And that's why I'm excited to have more community members. I don't really want to call y'all transplants because y'all are community members. So
here now.
I'm excited to have more people here to help us share the word about what Juneteenth is. Like, we want to bring the black population.
I'm
back.
from Dallas. I wanted to turn y'all up.
Is it somebody's job to communicate that though? Like,
Me,
like
your
to teach
job.
that?
It's your
Yes.
job.
Trey Renee. Hey,
Yeah.
it's Trey Renee.
But listen,
Hey, go ahead, Trey. Trey, hey, let everybody give Trey her moment. She haven't
Hold
had
on.
one in a while.
And I just have to say, I have a couple of things. But
Go
first
ahead.
of all,
Go ahead. No, hold on. Let her talk.
I have a whole platform that I try. I ask people, what do you want to get out? What can I do? I am a vessel. I'm in a privileged position. I'm not a privileged, population, but I'm in a privileged position. I'm on the radio, and for now, I don't know how long these things last, but I've been on the radio out here for decades. It feels like at least almost 2 decades, as long as I've been here. I have reached out to so many people. I get some feedback, but sometimes it's like I don't know if people don't believe me or that I'm really trying to do stuff. When I was on Afternoon Live, I tried, man, Monique, a lot of people know, like I had steppers on there. I had conversations with the N-word. I was bringing cool on mainstream broadcast, Channel 2 TV. I was bringing Adrian Nelson. I've had.
I'm gonna connect.
Please do, because
that's what we're saying. I think
now I'm doing my own thing, and it's so hard to try and get people to want to come on. I do not understand. I don't know if there's people that just don't want to mess with TV or radio or.
I would love to know.
Well, come on! I got my own show that I'm trying to produce, and I got 13 episodes on K2 starting. I mean, this is a miracle, and they know it's for us by us.
I need to be on one of those, Trey.
Would you come on, Sam?
See, this is good though. Like, this is good. This is good. Like transplants are learning. Like right now, like me, I'm learning. Like, we're learning.
He over there shaking.
Yeah.
Hey man, I just want to address some. Hey, I feel like we should address some of this shit they saying in these comments. Let me tell y'all something, man. And I'm just gonna say, and I only speak for myself. I don't even speak for Clint. I don't speak for nobody else. I don't speak for Adrian. And I like to say that because I'm gonna address two damn things. First of all, every time somebody disagree with somebody in this damn group, that shit don't make us attacking you. And I'm only addressing this shit, Adrian, because somebody said, and I'm sure it was me. I'm sure they're talking about me. They said somebody on 2 Cent the podcast is always attacking black women in the group. I don't attack anybody, not black women, not black men.
Oh, that was you.
Whatever the bullshit is, I'm addressing the bullshit. If you talking that bullshit, I'm addressing the bullshit. Attack the messenger, not the messenger. And I don't know, and I hate to say this shit, Portland, I don't know why y'all do that shit out here. Everybody got a bunch of fucking feelings, and you can't goddamn disagree with nobody no more.
Preach. It's very sensitive out here. Everybody's very sensitive out here.
No,
like, they can't take it. It's so sensitive.
Let me finish. It ain't toxic masculinity. It ain't none of that. Motherfucker, you wrong. You just fucking, let me tell you something. I feel like this. If I say something to you and you have facts to back up the fact that DeAngelo is wrong, I will fucking take my humble pie. I will sit the fuck back and I will say nothing else. But if all you want to do is blanket me and say, what you want to do is attack black women, what the fuck? What she saying?
Bro, I think that.
So DeAngelo, what you say about black women that got everybody mad?
I think that's a different subject. Oh, what happened?
He said something about black women. They kicked him off the app.
No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me, dog. That wasn't me. Come on, bro. No. Hey, so check this out, man. That's a Black Portland Facebook group topic right there. That's a whole different subject.
Well, no, somebody is down in the comments and they're making the comments and everything, and I welcome the comments. But
the comments, and I saw one of the comments that said so is a transplant's perspective not welcome? I don't think that we've spent enough time in this conversation acknowledging the experiences of those. I think we spent a lot of time. I can say for myself, I get defensive about Portland.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you know, I know what we have here. You know what I mean? But I do think that sometimes we do kind of deny the experience. We know that there are a lot of black people from Portland that are whitewashed and brainwashed and Uncle Toms, and so we know it's people like that out there. I think that
somebody just said.
Hold on, let me finish real quick. I think that because there's such a small population of black people here, and we're not a monolith, just like any place else. But because there's so few of us, when you run into us, you're more likely to run into somebody who's a little bit different. You feel what I'm saying? If you're in New York and it's however many millions of black people, it's going to be a whole bunch of real ones and a whole bunch of fake ones. When you have such a small population, the percentage of fake ones is higher just per capita. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a higher likelihood you might run into somebody like that. But I know black people out here that are business owners, entrepreneurs, you know what I'm saying? Affluent black families that have been here for generations. You know what I mean? So lawyers, doctors, and the whole nine. But not only people that are from here, also people that have moved here and made this their home and have been major contributors to the black community. So I think that we have to start thinking about how we move forward. I think that a lot of what we said, I think it's good to get this stuff cleared out and get it out in the air. But I also think that there is some truth to, let's stop holding on to the past. Let's stop trying to always explain the Portland of the past, and let's talk about how we could come together and build a Portland of the future. Go ahead, Uncle Clint, because he was trying, and then Trey Renee right after that.
So somebody posted in the comments and they said, if you lived in Beaverton and Hillsborough, you shouldn't be making a comment. Fuck you and your comment. I'm gonna say that. All right. Don't fault me for wanting to live closer to my job. All right. Don't fault me for wanting to live close to my job. Because and I say this, you know what? And I say that being playful, but we travel to Portland to support Portland. All right. Not the city of Portland, but we travel out to support Portland and black businesses. 2 Cent the podcast is 90% of what's going on in Portland or questions Portlanders have had about certain topics. That's what we address. So, you know, when you say things like, you know, if you live in Hillsborough and Beaverton, you can't speak on Portland. Yes, the hell I can, because that's where I spend my money in Portland.
I'm so glad you said it, because if Xfinity won't let me be great tonight, I was going to address that shit. I work 12-hour days. Why the fuck would I want to be away from Hillsborough? Fuck out of here, man. Get out of here, man.
Go ahead, Trey. Go ahead, Trey.
Okay. So here's what I wanted to say. I wanted to ask, because when I got out here, I didn't even realize there was a black Portland, okay, so to speak. When we moved out here, again, I think if you guys were listening in the beginning, we moved out here, my family and I, because my husband started working for Nike. So the Nike realtors relocate their relocation services, relocate a lot of these black families out here to, I live in Tigard, and I'll be damned if I'm gonna be silenced because I have an experience worth sharing. But I didn't even know about anything. When I found out about like areas where there was, you know, black folks and rich culture, and there is rich culture here. Okay, there is. I was mad. I'm still lightweight pissed off. So one of the questions I have is, you know, Kiyoshi, I don't know if this is part of your business or whatever, but with the equity and everything, man, can we get these realtors to either represent us if they're not going to be black? Can they at least learn some stuff for these people who are coming here? Because I really desperately I'm still like, I don't know if you could tell, I'm still pissed. Not that I love my home and I hate moving. So I ain't moving when I got my house. But when I learned about where I was, Monique can testify to this, I stayed in Portland. Like, I'm like, yo, I lay my head down in Tigard. My kids do go to school out here, so they had a whole different experience as a transplant. I didn't know a lot of things. And when I got here, I'm settled now. So my personality is like, I'm staying where I'm at, but I'm going to go where I need to go. I'm
all right, y'all about to get mad at me. Because it's 7:30. And the panel discussion has to come to an end. Stay on, though. Don't leave. Stay on. Stay on, because I got something I want to share with y'all. All right.
Hey, Renee, take my contact information. It's in the chat.
I got you, girl, because you in the email and you don't play with your name spelled. I see it every time you post something.
So for those of you that are in the comments that have something to say, we are taking the conversation to Clubhouse right after this show live session ends. So all of these who are in the comments, if you have something you want to chime in on, you've been itching to say something, those of you that are on the panel, please feel free to join us. If you don't have Clubhouse, I do have Clubhouse invitations. I'm sorry for licking my lips. I do not think I'm LL Cool J. My shit is just tapped, so please forgive me. It's not going to look great on the playback.
And I think you also have to have an iPhone too.
Yeah, you do have to have an iPhone to participate in the Clubhouse conversation. It's going to be hosted by my homegirl, Renata Mitchell, and myself. And we just going to keep the conversation going because I'm sure there's plenty of stuff people have to say. Guys, panel, hey, listen, this could be a 5-part series. We could go on and on and on.
Yeah.
And on. For those of you who didn't feel like, you was able to get it off your chest, I just want to wrap this up by saying a few things, man. We can come together and we need to. Okay, there's a lack of representation of Black people in this city, and our presence is not being felt. You understand? So when we're talking about ideologies and all of these politics and the things that we want to argue and debate with, that's cool. Black people, we are all people. We argue, we debate. I love to have a good argument and a good debate. But before we make it there, before we make it to all of these identity politics and these things we can say about each other, let's educate ourselves and our kids. Let's build Black businesses and support these Black businesses. And let's find ways to be more financially literate, right? And then let's support each other and show love for each other and keep that positive energy going. There ain't no reason for us to be out here competing and stepping on each other's toes and bumping heads. The city is too small for that. I challenge you guys to just, not you guys, but I'm saying just the Black Portland in general, man, break down those barriers, man. Break down those walls. Stop worrying about where somebody's from and all of that stuff. If you have some beef with somebody from Portland, man, let that shit go. Because we're not taking our control of our power. We're not taking control of our political power. We're not taking control of our economic power. You know what I'm saying? We need to come together. So I for one, I say transplant just because I hear people say transplant. It's really not a part of my vocabulary.
I'm a transplant.
You know what I'm saying?
I never even heard of it until
people, and I just like, man, I've met so many people, man. Shout out again, real quick. I just want to shout out to PDX Black Excellence, man. It's a perfect example. Waylon and Kayla, JJ, Jaren, Ashley, the whole crew, man, out there. I know I forgot some names, but it's an example of how, they don't know me, I don't know them, but we pretty much doing the same thing. So why be repetitive? Why not? They have 6,500 Instagram followers. We have 7,300 Instagram followers. We have 9,200 Facebook group members. That's like 20,000 people. You know what I'm saying? There's some overlap there, but it ain't all the same people. You see what I'm saying? So how can we find ways to elevate each other, to promote situations and conversations, to promote Plus One, to promote Empress Rules, 2 Cent the Podcast, Black Men and Women Unite, Outdoor Afro, whatever Zai got going on, whatever. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what y'all are a part of, but let's come together. Let's promote. Let's share information. Stop playing the role of gatekeeper all the time, and let's start letting some people in so we can build a strong community and start bringing back that sense that we had. It's a virtual world right now. We don't have to live next door to each other. We just have to communicate with each other. And that communication starts before the argument. We can argue all day. I still love
right. Communication is key, man. Learn how to talk to people, man. You look, everybody learn how to talk to everybody. It'll be all right.
Can we say one last comment? Look, one last comment.
Let's let everybody get the last word in. Let's let everybody get the last word in. Let's do it like that. Let's go. Let's start off. We're gonna start at the top of the Hollywood squares here. Let's go with Trey Renee.
Oh, okay. Hey, I love y'all. Period. I love y'all. I want to see us win. I want to see our stories told. I want to hear our stories. So that's what I'm all about. And I'm sure if you down with that, then I'm down with you. Period.
Monique.
I just want to say thank you guys for having me on the panel. I'm open to discuss, and I'm happy to send you guys any information that you need, whether that's where to go get your hair done, to what restaurants to go to, or where to. I saw a lot of people in here say, does it just have to be about business? Absolutely not. More times than not, it's not about business. So if you need to connect, hit me up. Happy to do so. Happy to connect you.
Uncle Clint.
Hey, I appreciate you, Adrian. You've created another platform where people can come and share their ideas, get some things off their chest. And, I commended you for this before. I don't care you know, the fact that you don't like this, I still consider you the Prince of Portland. You're gonna wear that moniker. You're gonna put the crown on your head, and you're gonna keep on pushing us forward.
Hold on. I like the Dr. Dre better because there's people here that can attest that I could possibly be or have been at one time the Dr. Dre of Portland.
No, you know what? You know what? I think you're very good at facilitating the movement of getting people together and giving them a platform and a space where they can promote themselves and their businesses. So I commend you for that. I commend you for reconnected me with some of my folks out here from, you know, Rose Bend, and man, it's lovely. So you know what? I appreciate it, and thanks for having us on.
The viewers don't know the private chat is off the chain with information sharing. We're gonna be killing the game. Zai, go ahead, brother.
So I just want to say, like everybody else, thank you for having me a part of the panel. Check out my music and stuff. That's what I do. My Facebook name is my music handle, Instagram handle, and all that. And then to the city, just because people don't agree with you, don't mean it's beef. Being a person that's not from here, I got mad love for the city. I got mad love for the people that I see on this panel. Mad respect. I see a lot of great black people in the city that I ain't never seen like where I'm from. So I know it's different. I know it's great folk out here. I don't want to quantify y'all blackness, qualified, or whatever you're trying to say. I just want us to understand that we are different, and we don't got to be on the same page to stand together. I don't got to agree with you to support you, and I really rock with that message, and that's just what I'm going to leave y'all with.
Keontae.
All right, Portland is a very small city, so no matter if you live in Beaverton, Hillsborough, Tiger, if you black and you in the surrounding area, we all got to support each other and help each other out and help build each other, because there's no way for it to get back to what it used to or better than what it was used to or get it back for us until we able to all work together and support one another and not decline somebody because they're not from here or they don't live in a specific area. That won't get us nowhere. So it's all about support and unity, and that's just for everybody. So we all got to work on that with each other.
Kiyoshi.
I just want to say I love you, bro, and I'm so proud of all the things that you're doing. You are an inspiration to me, and you always have. So thank you for helping me be who I am today. To everyone here, y'all all my family. I don't care if you're from here or not from here. You're always welcome with me, and you can contact me directly at empresschools.net. Also, I did say I'm a racial equity consultant. If you invite me to your organization because there's an issue there, one, I will do my best to make it so that you can actually just show up as your authentic self at work and not have to worry about some of the other things. But also, if I get a contract, I will pay you $750 cash, like no questions asked. So that's just kind of something on the low, just for you, like regardless.
Your ass gonna have 10 things to do by tomorrow.
Yeah, so it's either $750 cash or I'll buy you a trip or something, or let you stay in my timeshare, something like that. So I just want to put that out there. Check me out. .net.
Okay,
Thompson.
Oh man, it was dope having a conversation with everybody today. I think that we have an opportunity to do some great work. It's a lot of great work already happening here, and with the skills and the abilities that a lot of you guys have, and you bring it to a table with a different perspective than we have here. I think if we bring all those things together, we can be able to do some very, very impactful things. Just talking about some of the stuff we're doing, man, we're trying to focus on 6 pillars of work for the Black community. So that covers economics, education, healthcare, community safety and policing, controlling our own media, and focusing on policy. So that's some of the work that we're doing, some of the work that we want to get done. And I think that a lot of you have skills in those different areas. And so I would love to connect what I'm doing to what you're doing and help with creating a self-sufficient and self-reliant Black community here in Portland. So much love and appreciation to all of y'all. I'm glad we got to talk like we had some sense today. I thought I was gonna come on here cussing people out, but I didn't have to. So I think that's beautiful. I thought me and D was gonna have a moment today. I love it. I would love to be a part of y'all podcast, have y'all come rock on my podcast and get some work done.
Daryl, what's up with you, brother? Or here, look, yeah, go ahead. Daryl, me and you still got more to talk about. Go ahead, DeAngelo.
First of all, when the shit say use a laptop, use a laptop. This iPad shit, don't try it. This shit ain't let me. Hey, I should have listened, but I was being grown. I said my iPad can do it. You can't. Hey, listen, man. I understand that my success is attached to y'all's success. You know what I'm saying? And I don't ever want to get too far away from that. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that we all attached to each other. that being said, we gonna keep on moving, man. And when I say we, I mean all of us. Everybody gonna go in their own direction. It'd be great if we could go together. I can only speak for me and that man with that white 2 cent shirt on. I just feel like I want to make something in this city, and I want everybody to embrace us. But like Sam said, I thought I was gonna have to come on here and say more than I have to. But it's how I feel is a little different. I don't feel like I gotta know everybody to make it. I feel like if we create great things, then people will come and support it. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like we should just keep on
and market it. Market it.
Yeah, I mean, like the guy told me and Clint the other day, I saw y'all billboard up. I ain't even know who the hell y'all was. Hey, that's fine. We gonna be in your goddamn face. We gonna grind. And now that we talking to y'all, I mean, Kiyoshi know us. We grinding, man. We gonna fucking keep grinding because that's just what we do. I would love to be a part of everything y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? If y'all need us, holler at us. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever want nobody in Portland to feel no kind of way about me and my partner, but how I feel about the shit is we gonna keep on grinding. You can get down or you can goddamn see us when we get there. Either way, it's gonna be it's good with
Daryl, what's up with you, man? You were quiet for the whole situation, bro.
Yeah, this is great. So all I was doing was sitting here and drinking my drink. So I appreciate all of y'all. Let me do that. No, but honestly, I just want to say that I appreciate all the panelists coming on. I think that you guys are the picture of Black excellence in Portland, Oregon. As I was sitting back here and I was listening to you guys, I had like 3 takeaways that I wrote down here. The major thing, and I think takeaways are an agenda for us. Really simple that, I think that we should initiate a head nod or acknowledgement campaign, whatever you want to call that, right? I also think that it'd be really helpful if we were to integrate education about the history of Portland for newcomers. And all of you guys that come across people that come here and they're brand new to Portland, direct them to the page so they can get in there and they're not just flying off at their mouth, saying things that are completely out of pocket without knowing where Portlanders, Black Portlanders are actually coming from. And then another thing that I want to add is that if there's something that any of you out there want to see in Portland, maybe that you perhaps seen someplace else, don't tell us that the other place that you came from was better than Portland. What I would actually recommend more than anything else is share with the native Portlanders how you want to contribute to seeing that happen here in Portland. Yeah. And that's all that I have for you folks. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Beautiful, my brother. You said what I've been trying to say all damn day.
Man, Daryl, man, I told y'all don't know about Daryl, man. People better recognize, man. Daryl's a real one for sure. So those of you who y'all can hang out, man, and chime in if you want. What we usually do around this time is we just kind of talk about some group etiquette and some group business. It's what DeAngelo was getting to a little ahead of himself. I just want to say this, man. Hold on. I just want to say this before.
Hey, LaMelo Ball is
hold on.
So I'm gonna tap back in with y'all later, man. Y'all
all right,
cool.
Brother.
Much
all right,
love.
have a good one, brother.
Yeah.
I just want to say this. When you have 9,000 people, Black people, for as much as I could tell, there may be some, imitation accounts in there and whatnot. In one place, there are going to be some disagreements and some misunderstandings. Any people, it doesn't have to be Black people, human beings. If you have 9,200 human beings in a social media space, there are going to be some arguments. There are going to be some back and forth conversations. And we try to moderate it the best that we can while we still allow people to have freedom of speech and say what they have to say. There are a lot of very strong and powerful conversations that need to take place within the Black community. And we have to have the tough conversations. Okay, so, but at the same time, if you scroll through the group, I'm telling you, that one post that has an argument going on it is surrounded by 15 to 20 posts about where to get your hair done, who the best barber is, what people are up to, where the events are at. There are hashtags in there under the topic section where you can click on that and go straight to what you're looking for. So you don't have to go through any of that other stuff. You can actually even go in the search bar and start typing in what you're looking for, and posts that have that topic in it will start to pop up. So learn how to use these social media tools so you don't have to be distracted by the distractions. Because we're not going to, it's more of a social space too. You have to remember that. It's not real life, it's Facebook, right? So people are going to do the things that people do on Facebook, and that's okay. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say that. See you later, Trey Renee. She's signing off. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there because a lot of people have criticism about this group is full of drama. Oh, really? Well, did you see the 10 posts about the black market that was just here? Did you see the post about Swapkin that just had the gallery event that was here? Did you participate in Sneaker Week for it was virtual? Did you go to the Simple X Mixer where we had the chief of police, the chief of the fire department, the Secretary of State for Mayor Wheeler, and the chief of head of human resources that we advertised all throughout the Facebook group? So just like everything else, it's what you take out of it. It's what you go in there. If you see a post that you see a lot of BS going on, let the moderators take care of that. Or if you find something offensive, let us know. In the meantime, keep it pushing. You don't even have to stop and engage in that energy. So that's just kind of what I wanted to put out there. Go ahead. Daryl, do you have something?
So one thing that I want to add, and I keep reiterating this because I've seen some people, express a bit of frustration with not seeing their posts that are up there. If we can't see the posts, then the moderators 9 times out of 10 are not going to approve it. It'll say, this has a limited audience, and we won't even see it to be able to approve it. We don't know what you have there, and so that's all you're going to actually see. So please don't take it personal. Also, just like any platform, I think that, we've been tasked with the directive of, making sure that we don't have repetitive messages in there that someone's already posted. And so I just want you to appreciate that as well. The other thing is that sometimes when someone posts something and people disagree with it, right? Sometimes, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term the dozens, right? They're going to crack on you, and they mean it all in good fun. Don't take it personal. It's not anything personal. Sometimes they're just having fun. There's people that just get on Facebook, and they're just having fun and they're just joking around. It's not all about business. It's definitely not personal because they don't even know you, most of the time. Sometimes they're probably making breakfast while they're, cracking back on something that you said. So don't take it personal. It's all in fun and really about just kind of, it's like a family. You have an older brother out there and he's going to joke around with you and say some things to you that, it's not going to be disrespectful for the most part. I don't really see that at all, but it's going to be more in fun and we can laugh and joke around with one another, I hope. And I just want you to really take it as that it's more like a family. And I want you to approach it like a family. I don't think everybody's not attacking you. They may disagree with you. And sometimes you're going to get those people that are in the family that, they have those attitudes that are a little bit, but we've been given a directive to kind of moderate that. And I think that we do a pretty good job. So that's all I want to share with you. I really appreciate how everyone, like I said, interacts with the board for the most part. Try to get in there and dig in. If you want to search for things, you want to find things, there are tools and, there's a little search box there that you can find what you're looking for. That way you don't have to ask the question over and over. And then the last thing I want to add is encourage more people to come onto the platform. So the more of us that is there, the better it's actually going to become. So
and if
thank
you
you
just
so
want
much.
the straight news and the straight events and the straight businesses, follow us on Instagram, and then you don't have to deal with any of the conversation. And that's how we are Black Portland. Also, just don't forget we move into the Clubhouse Black Portland after party at Clubhouse, and then you can follow Black Portland. You can find it that way too. Go ahead, DeAngelo. And Monique, she left. Thank you so much, Monique.
I just want to say one quick thing. Please like and subscribe to 2 Cent Podcast at Instagram, and we on Facebook and Apple Music, iHeartMedia, Spotify, 2 Cent Podcast. Hey, even if you don't listen to us, go ahead and subscribe now. That way it'll be there when your friends talk about it. One more thing for the group. Hey, leave these folks alone who want to get this goddamn corona shot. If they want to get it, mind your motherfucking business. Wear your mask and let them get this fucking shot. Hey, if they die, that shit don't got nothing to do with you. If they live, that shit don't got nothing to do with you. That is our problem. We ain't here talking about they got that corona shot. We can't even goddamn get together on regular shit. Mind your motherfucking business. It'll save your goddamn life. That's all I got to say.
Hey, and that's the number 2.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I just want to say to anybody that's still on the chat, anybody that I may have offended, rubbed the wrong way, or anything like that, that's from Portland, not from Portland, whatever, I apologize. I come from a certain place in Texas. We talk a certain way back home. And after coming out here, being exposed to different people, being exposed to different perspectives, different traumas, different experiences, I've learned that some of the things that I say just is very inconsiderate and insensitive. And I don't mean for it to be that way. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. I don't want to rub nobody the wrong way. I really do love all my people. I know that term, skin folk, all skin folk ain't your kinfolk, but I love y'all regardless. If you got the same skin as me, you use my people. And I just want y'all to know that I ain't never mean nobody no harm. If I hurt your feelings and made you feel some type of way, I really, from the bottom of my heart, apologize. I love the city. I love y'all. And I just want to see this shit come together and be for real what it could be.
I feel the complete opposite way. If I said that shit, I meant it, and I said it.
You wild for that. Stop it.
Hey, and for you guys that are going to subscribe to 2 Cent the Podcast, that is the number 2. Don't spell out 2. It's the number 2. All right, 2 Cent the Podcast. Y'all holler at us. Here's the head nod for the night. That's my head nod.
What's up, y'all? We wrapping up the thing. I already got some people in the room.
I'm already there.
So let's go. Let's take the conversation offline and let's get the Clubhouse after party. Let's get it.
I'm finna get on the laptop, so I don't gotta have
Let's get on.
All right.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Ciao.
What's up, Clubhouse after party? Can y'all hear me? Hello.
I don't think it's gonna let you on yet until 8 o'clock.
Nicole, can you hear me? What's up, Nicole? She can hear me.
Hey, how do I get in then? I'm just looking at a screen.
You gotta search the
maybe I gotta download the app onto my computer.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm gonna turn my mic off. Okay, yep. Invite a speaker. Daryl, bro, can you kind of just start the conversation off while I do some other things here, brother?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. So,
let me get it.
Want to let me just listen to someone here. Can we to join another room? Get out of here. So, welcome to the Black Portland clubhouse room here. This session is really about the natives and the transplants.
Yeah. Speak. Versatile. Once again, y'all know how we do. Classics. History. Let's go now.
Met this pretty lady named Faye. Little chocolate, from Charlotte, over hustling cake. Okay. Steady, serving all the sweet tea. That day we touched on just about everything. Our up and downs, trifling ways. Yeah, God loves us the same. Yes, sir. She tried to figure my sway. She said, your love come around this way. You must be from the Bay of LA. I say no, Miss Baby, not the Cali.
My safety portal link. If you're unsure where to find the link, ask your supervisor. Once you do so, you'll either be directed when you arrive at this page.
We up here, no doubt. I'm from here, representing all the tasty seasonings, blended with all the mixes and everything in between. Know what I mean? We so deep. So Emerald City to the Emerald City. If it's sunshine, you can start to stay on.
We from that northwest coast, Max Train of the Metro, Oaks Park of the Expo, Swoosh, headquarters if you get close, might get a plug on the retros. Out here where pleasure and shop play, feels good in the hood on a hot day. Way before Starbucks had a latte, I had a posse on mixing like Broadway. Quincy and Gypsy was a beauty, that jazz, that soul we do these. We saw ACTV, cut my parents and Ariel to the lead. Just got 503 on the phone, real bad with rain. In the zone. Twin Cities like the see my place, the same thing. Stay on that I-5 to the skyline, see the space needle on the road. So you You know they love for the words on stage. So I want to know, what do y'all really mean when y'all say that? That's the transplant. I want to know if you really get to know the shit, you know? Can I ask you a question? Like, where are you hearing that? Like, saying that? Well, it's not like so, Adrian said earlier in the call, but it wasn't like a charge or recommendation around you being like, you know, it was more like you said, it's more black people that I real so it's like you're in the city that's there, you come across people that's quite different. Like, you know, black people that are white people, something like that. But I it's just like I tell people all the time, especially in Black Portland, because I also be going back and forth with folks, is if you run into people and you don't vibe with them, then that's not your tribe. And you'll find your tribe while, you know, maneuvering the city. You know what I'm saying? I'm a native, but I also, like, I grew up here, I went to Vernon, and then I moved away and didn't come back until I was grown. So I understand the family part that we have here, this connection.